Awesome, we are live. Alright guys, we're back for the hat trick of Warlords projects. We are working on Warlords 4 prologue tonight. And I don't need VS Code or GitHub. Once I get this project a little bit better done or functional, I'll probably start sticking it up on GitHub, but for now we'll leave it as is. So we do all our editing inside tools. But before we jump into tools, we need to jump into Reforger itself and load up conflict to make sure it's working. Make sure everything is loaded correctly. So we didn't stream last week, and what I did is I basically used those 2 hours that I would be streaming. I was on the wiki reading articles and stuff, guides. I think I got a pretty good idea of what is going to be happening tonight, I think. So we were not completely on the wrong track, but we were definitely not doing things correctly. Or not the easiest way to do things, I should say. Okay, cool. Game. I'll be nice, I'll build some stuff for some people real quick. Which one is supply depot? That one.
All stations, this is Alpha Main. Update. There is now a supply depot at Point of Utah. Out. All stations, this is Alpha Main. There's a new barracks at Point of Utah. Out. Alpha Main to all stations. A transmitter tower has been raised at Point Utah. Out. Alpha Main to all stations. Supplies have reached Point
Okay,
Utah.
that is enough. Just in case somebody joins the server. There's stuff built for him already. Okay, now we jump into tools. Open up our project. Okay, so tonight we are going to focus purely on just see if we can get the spawning system working. That is our goal. Okay, so what we were doing last week, we were clicking this create button down here, and we were pulling game mode and all this stuff out of here into the world. Now that is not a completely incorrect way to do things, but it is definitely not the easiest way to do things. So what we are going to do, instead of trying to build all the stuff ourselves, we are going to use the resource browser down here. We are going to pull some prefabs out, and then we're going to modify the prefabs. To grab my checklist here. And I updated my world building checklist just a little bit, because my world building checklist, I have SCR game mode and faction manager, loadout managers, all that stuff. But I didn't point out that I'm supposed to be doing it down here, pulling out prefabs. We're gonna take all this and we're gonna delete it all. And I think I'm going to make some new layers too. Create layer. Okay, we're going to call this layer game mode. Make another layer. Call this spawns. And I'll make another layer that will be sectors. Okay, that should be good. Start off with game mode. So we're gonna put my managers and stuff. That, yep. Okay, so what we want to do, let me go over here to the runway. You're gonna go down here to game mode. And what we're looking for are the prefabs for multiplayer. And we want game mode plain, I think. Let's see here, do I have... I think maybe this is not the correct one. I don't see factions in here. So when you use a prefab, it has all these other components inside the entity already done for you, which is awesome. Because we were trying to stick all this stuff in here ourselves, and it's doable, but it's definitely not the easiest way to do it. I'm looking for game mode that has factions. Okay, maybe I should pull a wiki up. Arma 3. Yep. Where is game mode? Mod project setup. Let's see if this is the correct page. Nope. That is definitely the most frustrating thing about their wiki right now. It's so hard to find a page. Like when you literally know exactly what you want, but you can't find the page. Okay, so we got game mode plain entity. Sweet. That we got what we want. Oh, but I don't actually want to do that. I want to delete this. So what I want to do is I want to actually duplicate this into my duplicate to Warlords IV prologue. What this is going to do is going to set up my folder structure, my file directory structure, which is really important in enfusion. And it's going to basically have a copy of this that I can play around with instead of editing the actual game mode plain. I call this game mode plain Warlords. Okay, so now you can see what it did under my Warlords IV prologue here. It created the prefab folder, multiplayer modes, plane, and now I have this copy in my world. So I can now drag this into the world, and this one is my copy. This is not a base game one. And I could go through and play around with it, do all the stuff that I want to do, make edits that I want to make without having to worry about it. Why do I have two of these? Yeah, there we go. So the next thing I need is a faction manager. And we're going to go with prefabs, multiplayer. Yep. Okay, so now what we have is a couple faction managers that we could pick from. Yeah, I'm just reviewing the key here. I don't know if we really want a... Tell you what, let's drop the free-for-all in here and see what... Okay, so there's only one... Yeah. Don't think that's what we want. So let's check out Faction Manager US, see what this has in it. So it has two factions currently. We're going to be adding a third faction, which is going to be independent. Let's also drop in the Faction Manager base. This has... Okay. I think what we're going to do, we'll use the US USSR one, and we'll add the third faction to it. It's going to be independent. Delete that. And what we're going to do here is, again, we're going to click our Faction Manager US and USSR, and we're going to duplicate to Warlords prologue. Faction Manager Warlords. Boom. Okay. So again, it set the whole structure up, and then we just drag and drop this, and this is our local copy to play around with. Next up, we need a loadout manager. I spelled loadout wrong. That's talent right there, boys. That is talent. Okay, we'll pull this one in, just check it out real quick. Okay, seems pretty simple. Easy to edit. This is a FAA 1/2. Oh, it's the exact same. Just checking out, see what all these loadout managers have. There's none. Okay, not maybe a little harder than I thought to make new loadouts, but that's okay. For now, we will use the US, and we're going to duplicate this over to our There we go. Got our little manager. And next up, we need to add a spawn point. These will actually have to place somewhere correct. Multiplayer, spawning. All right. Okay, so before we do this, I will jump into paint here a little bit. I'm gonna draw out the map, the way the map's gonna work here. So this will be kind of our baseline view of the world. So we got buildings here, ramp, then runway. Okay, so we got this here. So the game world is going to be set up. I got buildings right here. I got the... Okay, I need to rinse that a little bit. Okay, so the buildings are right there. The aircraft ramp is going to be right here. Then we got the taxiway going out to the runway. And runway is over here. Okay, so FIA is going to spawn over here. NATO is going to spawn on this end of the building, which will actually be north, because it's kind of looking backwards. We're looking south right now. And the reds are going to spawn over here. And our goal for these sectors, I think we're gonna... So what I need is each of these zones needs to have a starting sector. There. This will be our connected to base sector, so vehicles won't spawn. Or we could test infantry. Then we're going to have our airfield sector, to be put it right between the runway and taxiway. When we eventually get to the point where we can add airplanes and helicopters, that'll be our zone to test. Then we'll have our vehicle spawning zone here. So it'll look like... So this is going to be airfield, vehicles, will be infantry. So that way, as I progress through all the systems, I have a very, very simple, easy way to test. Fast travel is going to be a little bit weird because the zones are so close, but as long as the fast travel moves me, then I know it's going to work. So that will be our design of the map. Cool. So tonight we're going to be working on our spawn zones. 3 spawn zones, we're going to try to get those working. So first thing I need to do is take a look at... Actually, it looks like it's going to be really easy. Just plop these down, right? Okay, so US will be here. And FIA will be over here. And the reds are going to be over here. Okay, cool. Got that part of the map done. Actually, we need to duplicate all these so I can edit them. And they need to be in a different layer. Okay, so we need to set our spawns as active. Gonna duplicate spawn point FIA. Drop it into the world. Got the US duplicated into my world. Drop it. And duplicate the USSR. Go. Bam. Got it. Very nice. Okay, what up is next? Okay, so let's go back to our game mode here. And I'm just going through the wiki right now, making sure. Let's see what happens. Save. Okay, cool. It automatically assigned me to US and gave me a random loadout. ET, that's cool. Okay, well, got spawning working, but what we want to do is we want to have a menu pop up that lets me pick which side I want to play before. Okay, so the automatic, what just happened there was the automatic respawn handler was basically just popped us into the game. That is not what we want. Okay, our respawn system component is currently enabled. Okay, we got our faction manager and loadout manager done. So we know those are working since it assigned us to a faction and gave us a loadout. Just look through all my components here. Okay, so respawn menu handler. I think that's what we need. So what we're going to do is go down here to add components. And we're going to search for menu. We want respawn menu handle component. Did that add it? I think it did. Okay, and the respawn menu handle component has a bunch of boxes here. Allow faction change, allow faction selection, allow loadout screen, spawn point, deploy. Okay, so we will disable our automatic respawn component. And now when it spawns us in, it should give us a menu. Save. Oops. Okay. Function on menu show. I think we broke everything. Yeah, completely locked up workbench. Okay, we're gonna completely close tools out here and restart. Now, whatever I did there, I broke something bad. I wonder if it's because I didn't save. So I saved the mission as a whole, but I don't think I actually saved the game mode. Okay, so we're going to click apply to prefab. Okay, let's click that back on. Or if I have to click apply to prefab every single time. I don't think I do, but okay, let's try to spawn in again, see what happens. Save. Okay, this is better. Okay, it automatically assigned me to the US Army as AT dude again. Okay, so let's try, we're going to disable this. Going to save. Now let's see what happens. Respawn briefing submenu. So I think it's looking for something that's not there. Respawn briefing. Okay, I'm gonna go find guide I was reviewing the other day. So no. Let's go try to find a menu or menu stuff. Nope. Okay, there's no menus in there. No prefab stuff. Hmm. Okay, well, while we're here, we're gonna keep on running through a checklist here. We're going to perception. We're gonna set game mode as active, and we're gonna put our perception managers and stuff in here. And we're not going to be editing this one at all, so we can just drop this into the world. So I don't think. And next up, we need to hit ridge. And we're not going to be editing the hit registration either. Boom, there we go. So I wonder if I messed up by duplicating everything into my folder instead of just dropping it into the world. Okay, our next up on our checklist to do is we're going to add some AI in. And we're going to prefabs AI. So we need AI world. So let's AI see. Here we go. Fabs. Okay, and this is another one that I don't think we're ever going to edit. So we'll put it right over there. Just looking through the settings here. Ooh, what is this? Which file? Okay, and what I think I just did there was I added the navigation mesh to the AI. So let's save that. Okay, we're not going to be putting any AI actually in the game right now, but I wonder what selecting this is doing. Okay, I think what we're going to do is we're going to make some changes. Instead of having, I think what I'm going to try to do is I'm just going to stick this stuff, not duplicate it. I'm sticking it in the game straight. And we're going to see what happens. Okay, so let's run through this again. Can get rid of you. Okay, game mode plane. Just gonna drop this in the world without duplicating it this time. Just to see if I can get this working. And then I need... Oh, this was the menu I was supposed to click. Autoplay or respawn. Cool. Okay, so next up, let's re-add our faction manager. Prefabs, multiplayer, factions. There we go. And next we need to give each of the factions their loadout. So we'll do loadout managers. For now we will do USSR. And I think the only thing left to do is spawn points. So let's make our spawn layer active. Over here we will do the FIA. And US. Cool. Okay, so let's go back to game mode plane. Let's just see what happens. We're gonna save it. Okay, I'm getting this -1 bug. There's no value generally, but what I just did right there, this hierarchy tree got messed up because I clicked something in the world. It was locked. And I used the arrow keys forward and back to get myself back up the tree. Go back to game mode plane. Okay, I think we have to reload the world here. So let's play the game, see what happens. Make sure we get no errors. Then we'll start messing with stuff once we know we got a baseline working. Hey, it's Mommy as US again, and this time I am a Grenadier. Okay, so we're going to add, now we're going to go down here and add a component. And we are going to look for respawn menu. Okay, so we've added the respawn menu component. We've saved the game. Reload. Okay, automatically spawn me again. This time I'm a sniper or LMG. Let's go back computer game mode. If true, then simple default logic is used to spawn and respawn automatically. So, can unclick auto player respawn. Save. So I'm not sure if the box I just clicked is the one or it's the auto respawn component. It's the one that I need to get rid of. Okay, so it might be the auto respawn that I need to get rid of. Okay, so let's disable this automatic respawn handler component. Respawn briefing. So respawn briefing. That's what we need to look for. Respawn briefing. Okay, so let's go searching here for base game mode, add a component, respawn, for respawn briefing component. Oh no. Apparently when you scroll through that upper part, it removes this part down here. Respawn briefing component. And it looks like I will also need a respawn timer component. So that in the list as well. Okay, cool. We got respawn timer components and respawn briefing component. To save. Okay, let's play and see what happens. See which error we get this time. Oh, there we go. Okay, I can pick my faction. And I can pick a loadout. Cool. Sweet, we did it! We can spawn in from a menu. That's awesome. Okay, so we got that part working now. So now we need to add FIA as a faction. And I didn't change the names too. It's going to be Blue 4, Op 4, Independent. Woo! I'm so hyped, man. We made progress. I still think we did it wrong. I think we're supposed to be editing that prefab, not like the base prefab, but maybe we'll fix that next week. It'll be our... Right now I'm just I'm just so happy I got it working. Okay. So let's go back to where's faction manager. Let's loadout manager, faction manager. Okay, so factions. We currently have 2 factions. Faction key, and this is just a plain text identifier for the faction. Call this Blue 4. Faction label, faction US. I think. And our faction key for our second faction is going to be Op 4. Okay, so we're going to add a third faction. What should I pick? I got campaign faction, faction free for all, military faction. I think campaign is US and Russia, probably. Let's just click in to see what happens. Where is it? Campaign faction. Whoa. Okay, let's so we're gonna use SCR faction. That so release. Okay, so we just added a third SCR faction. We're gonna call these guys Let's make sure I spell this correctly. Okay, we got independent. We're going to make them green. Okay, how does this work? Clicking on green. Okay. Let's look at UI info. Okay, AR faction S is UI info. For those guys, for these guys, AR faction USSR. So I guess if I make it AR faction FIA, that'll be correct. And the other one, it looked like this icon was FIA, search FIA something. I guess this is the FIA flag. That is the FIA flag. Okay. Where was it though? Okay. Let's look up identity of soldiers. So make this and we'll call it FIA. Identity of soldiers. What's that? Identity of soldiers should be a faction identity. And I should click is playable. Okay. So identity of soldiers going to be a faction identity. And we're just going to copy this. Oh. This is actual bodies. Oh, this is pretty in depth. There's a lot of customization you can do here. I wonder what happens if we don't do all this identity stuff here. Probably gonna throw an error at us, but that's okay. Let's go look for FIA again. Faction label. Label is going to be FIA. I may have to go through and do every single one of these. This is gonna be be interesting. It'll take a while. Okay, so that was just the UI info, I think. Okay, that's not that bad. But we're gonna save and we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see what errors it throws at us. It's missing a whole bunch of stuff from this faction, but kind of sort of got it going. Got their flag, their identity, and all that stuff. Okay, I need to go rename US and Soviet Army. Just go do that. I have to make a better FIA flag too. I like how it puts the FIA in the middle. That's cool. Okay, so let's go through and edit the US. So clear it's not the faction key that you need to edit. You need to edit something else. Let's go here and try to figure this out. I wonder what. So we're gonna take this faction, we're gonna change this to faction none. And we're gonna save it, see what that does. Trying to see what menu in here is actually pulling for the briefing menu. Probably just click the actual briefing menu. I bet I can probably figure this out that way. Because the thing is, I don't see Soviet Army or US Army listed anywhere. That's what's confusing me. It's because these words are not in the. So it's pulling information from somewhere that I don't see. Okay, so let's change that back to faction US. Okay, so let's go back to game mode and let's look at the menu. We can That does not appear to be. Wait, edit this. Oh, here we go. Okay, this looks like the respawn menu, not the actual briefing menu. And if you guys couldn't see what I'm doing there, I'm right clicking the component and then I'm selecting jump to script definition. Okay, up here, the attributes, these are the things you can click in the editor. Okay, that was not helpful. Does not point me in the correct direction for what I want. So I wonder what... Change this to... None. See what happens. I think there's a page on the wiki also that walks you through setting up a new faction. I should probably go look at that. Or faction none. Interesting. So if it doesn't know, so we know what block it's pulling this name from. That's good. And we know that removed. Cool. Okay. So if I change that to blue 4, then it should name blue 4. And your name is going to be up 4. Spawn point, we need to... Now we link the spawn point with Oh, where is it? How does it know it's a US spawn point? Yeah, what I just did there, I pulled just a default spawn point and to see what the difference is. Oh, it's up at the top. Got it. I always forget you can click this top part here. Faction US. I changed that to blue for. So I'm just guessing there that since I made the faction key blue for, that should be what links the two together. Just a little shot in the dark. Spelled blue for wrong. Deployment points available. To figure out. Okay, typo. Maybe that was a faction manager. Okay, let's jump on the search for faction here. Faction. Oh my god, and it just takes me straight to the. Oh, this week is so bad. You search. I know there is a page on faction setup, but can't search for it. So So the only way to actually find something is to literally click through dozens of menus. Action creation. Okay, found it. Oh, their example they're using red for. That's pretty cool. Geez, they're going through all the equipment and stuff, which is not what we want to do. Okay, this is the only block I see where it says faction. Guess let's just save and go again. Oh, it worked. Okay, as soon as I fixed the typo, it worked. Okay, cool. If it actually spell more. It was literally just that typo. that's that's funny. Oh, but I don't have a loadout. I think I broke it. Okay, because I changed it, I think it's not able to have to debug that. Yeah, I think it's like, I don't know what to do, dude. You don't have a loadout. So I think we may be able to get around that by just removing the ability to pick a loadout, which I think is in game mode, maybe faction manager. Oh, before we do that, we got to go edit the USSR. Okay, so let's go back to our faction manager. And UI info is what we have to do. Then we have to match up then save that. Go back to my USSR spawn point. It's faction to op4. Save. Go to our game mode. And we're going to, where is it? Respawn menu. Remove loadout selection. Yes, we did it. Okay, well you can't actually spawn in, but we did get the menu working, which is good. We made progress tonight. So it's probably not linking like the spawn point. Well, no, it sees a spawn point. So I should just use US and like, yeah, we'll see if FIA works. That'll help us narrow down where the where the error is happening. I probably just have some configured wrong in the spawn point for. But I have it if I. Okay, well, we have something to work on for next week. Got the menu look. The menu looks correct. So I just got to get the menu actually working with the. I wonder why changing the name wrote that. It really it's really strange that that is what broke the. Okay, I kind of understand these guys not working because they're missing a ton of stuff in their faction, so that kind of makes sense. But okay, well, we have something to work on for next week. We will. So we got the menu looking correctly. We may end up reverting the stuff. And I don't know. I may end up just going with U.S. Army, Russian Army, and I don't know. I can't figure it out next week. So, okay, I will see you guys next week for some more of Warlords 4. I don't think I'm going to be doing any Redux work next week. Just going to be focusing on trying to study and figure out this whole spawning system for this. So, see you then.